World War II is remembered for colossal battles, massive supply chains, and strict military discipline, but behind the rules and regulations, soldiers, on every front, quietly carried personal objects that were technically banned, discouraged, or confiscated when discovered. These hidden items were more than contraband. They were reminders of home, symbols of identity, or tools that helped soldiers cope with the chaos of war. From Lucky Charms sewn into uniforms to covert cameras and even bagpipes smuggled across continents, this is the story of the secret stash soldiers kept tucked away in their packs. Despite official policies discouraging superstition, World War II soldiers carried lucky objects everywhere. For many, these charms were emotional armor, something to hold on to when the world felt random and deadly. Common forbidden good luck items included rabbit's feet, which were banned because fur products attracted lice; pocket coins and engraved tokens, discouraged because they added weight; small religious statues, officially limited because they weren't standard gear; and four-leaf clovers or pressed flowers from sweethearts back home. Some men stitched charms into the linings of their jackets so inspectors wouldn't notice. A few soldiers believed the items had saved their lives, like the Marine who kept a flattened bullet that had bounced off his belt buckle, or the British pilot who carried a tiny silver bell from his mother. Superstition broke the rules, but it also kept morale alive. Most militaries banned personal cameras in combat zones. Leaders feared soldiers would accidentally photograph sensitive equipment, classified troop movements, or destroyed cities that could damage morale back home. But soldiers found creative ways to sneak cameras in anyway. Tiny vest pocket. Kodaks, Argus A cameras and brownies were favorites because they were small enough to hide in boots, bedrolls, or ammo pouches. Troops used them to document their real experiences, something official photographers rarely captured. You'll find photos today of Marines on Peleliu posing with stray dogs, American GIs playing baseball in ruined fields, British soldiers drinking tea atop wrecked tanks, and German troops photographing Christmas trees in bunkers. These images exist only because someone risked punishment. It was worth it. Photos helped soldiers hold on to humanity in a world determined to strip it away. Bagpipes have a long military tradition, especially among Scottish regiments, but by World War II, commanders considered them too dangerous. Their sound carried for miles, making pipers easy sniper targets. After heavy piper casualties in the First World War, frontline piping was banned. But tell a Scotsman he can't bring his bagpipes, and you are inviting rebellion. During World War II, pipers smuggled their instruments in duffels, supply trucks, and even medical crates. They played quietly at night in the trenches, during celebrations after successful missions, to honor fallen comrades, and on ships crossing the Channel. One of the most famous was Piper Bill Millen, who openly played the bagpipes during the D-Day landings, despite being told they were banned. German snipers reportedly refused to shoot him, believing he had lost his mind. Music was never part of the official kit, but for many Scots, the pipes were a piece of identity they refused to abandon. In every army, certain books were prohibited, usually for political, ideological, or morale reasons. But, soldiers often ignored the rules. Common secretly carried books included Bibles and prayer books banned by communist armies, philosophy texts banned for being unpatriotic, romance novels forbidden because they distracted men from service, and poetry, especially collections from home countries. One German soldier hid a book of French poetry in his boots. An American GI carried a battered copy of The Hobbit, passed from man to man in his unit. Red Army soldiers risked punishment to keep religious books in their packs. Reading gave soldiers a mental escape, something their commanders didn't always appreciate. Pets were, universally banned for hygiene, disease, and supply reasons. Yet, soldiers adopted everything: dogs, cats, goats, pigeons, monkeys, even foxes. These animals slept in tents, rode in trucks, appeared in group photos, and, helped calm nerves during bombardments. One Marine division even adopted a puppy named Little Satan. A British tank crew kept a cat that actually lived through 17 missions. These animals weren't just mascots, they were family. While bagpipes were probably the most famous, soldiers smuggled all sorts of forbidden instruments: harmonicas, accordions, tiny violins, jaw harps, and even makeshift drums. Music honestly helped exhausted men stay awake on night watch, survive those tough trench rotations, and endure endless marches. Military logistics officers hated them, but nobody could stop the music once it started. World War II was a war of massive armies and strict regulations, but, at the end of the day, soldiers were still human. They needed memory, comfort, identity, distraction, and, well, hope. Even when banned, these secret items helped them survive the emotional and psychological battlefield that history often forgets.